Okay, good morning, everyone who is on the call. I believe the first question is for you, Craig, and rightly so. And this comes from one of our customers from Norwich. And the question is, what is being done to improve the consistency and the quality of repair work? Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie. Opportunity to talk about repairs is most welcome. It's one of the single biggest features of our work here at Sanctuary and our services to customers. It's also one of those areas that we have been focusing hugely on over the course of the past few years, it's fair to say. But we do know there's more still to do. So let's put our cards on the table to start with. There is more to do to get our service right in this respect. We have been doing lots of things. So let me just outline a few of those things for you. The first thing is to make sure we get right the structures we have in place from a management perspective to deliver that service. Over the course of the past 18 months, Daryl and his team have overhauled that structure. That has enabled us to also put in place new management information and greater clarity for our colleagues across the business to give them a better chance of offering a better service, if you like. Hand in hand with that, you will also hear later, I believe, about some work we've been doing around our contractor base and overhauling that as well. And we've also been investing in our technology. And I know from my discussions with Lizzie that she'd like to talk a bit more about that in a moment. So we're investing in our technology. We launched One Property, which in itself has enabled us to improve our productivity. What do I mean by that? We're doing more repairs each and every day than we've ever done before, which is great. We're also doing more of the work ourselves, and we know from our feedback from our residents and customers that leads to higher levels of satisfaction because the quality of what we do ourselves is better than we've experienced with our contractors in the past. And that's because, of course, we can be clearer with our teams and train our own teams effectively to deliver better customer service. And that's not just about fixing the repair, it is also about customer service training as well, so that we come with the right attitude and the right way of communicating. So I'm not for a moment going to tell you it's perfect, because it isn't, Bonnie. It's not perfect at all, but I believe it is improving and it will remain a key focus. It's also the secret to unlocking a move from a C2 rating by the regulator to a C1 rating by the regulator. So we don't underestimate the challenge. We believe that we have the right plans, the right investments in place, and more recently, the right contractor base in place. But there is more work to do, and we will focus hard on that. On the plus side, what I'd add is that we've had a great deal of success with recruiting towards our full staffing complement in our property services team. Skills have been in short supply. That's been a challenge, but we have addressed that. We've been successfully recruiting new people all around the country, all to add to our own team. And most excitedly, we've got more apprentices on board as well, and we'll be investing even more heavily in that in the future. So lots and lots of things on the go, but still more work to do. Lizzie, I don't know whether you'd like to add anything to that opening gambit from myself.
Yeah, Craig, I think you covered most of it. I think I'd probably just add that, Bonnie, we're constantly asking customers whether we're doing the right thing as well. So we've started our real-time surveys. So customers will receive a survey following any work that we've done. And we've done about 50,000 of those surveys now across the last couple of years. And we've had some really interesting feedback, and it really helps us understand what we need to do better. And we focus on a thing called You Said We're Listening on You Said We've Done, so that we really try and then play that feedback back to the customers that have told us we could improve when we've made the changes to those improvements. So customers told us that our text messages could be clearer. So we've been working on how we make those clearer when we let people know we're coming. They said they would like them at different times, so we've changed the frequency of when those texts are sent. So there's just a real example of how we're co-creating our services with our customers, which is a key part of our new resident engagement strategy as well.
Really interesting to hear that, Craig and Lizzie. Looks like you've covered all the bases on the people, process, tech, and the governance and controls that you have to kind of improve the customer experience as such. Keeping on the same theme, our next question is from a customer from Essex Port of Harwich. And the question is, are there any plans to streamline how residents can report and track repair request? May I ask Lizzie, if you can kind of shed some light on that?
Yeah, another great question. So thank you. We know that it isn't the easiest to log and track a repair today. And actually, we look at how much effort our customers have to put into that process. And it's a lot of effort on our customers' side. So we want to try and make it easier. So we have improved our online forms that are on the website today, but that's an interim measure. Craig talked about systems and technology on the last question, and he mentioned One Property. So One Property is the system we use to send our engineers to properties to do the repairs. And we're launching a new customer relationship system early next year. Now, that is going to enable us to launch a portal. Now, the portal will be on the website. It will be available to customers on mobile phones or tablets. And it will let our customers report repairs really, really easily, because you'll log into your account and you'll be able to raise a repair. In that same system, you'll be able to see your past repairs. So you'll be able to see the progress of anything that you've raised. You'll also be able to view a community. One of the bits of feedback we've had is if you live in a multi-tenanted block, so if you live in a block of flats as an example, you can track your repair, but you won't know anything about communal repair. And has somebody else raised that the light isn't working in the hallway? What you'll be able to see in the new portal are communal repairs as well. So you'll be able to look at things that impact your community as well as directly your home. So I think that's really exciting, and that's going to go live probably summertime next year. And it's going to really enable us to capture better information. So you'll be able to see your past homes. If you've moved homes with us, you'll be able to see your past and your current home. It will also help us capture better information. So last year we launched our Sanctuary Census, where we wrote out to customers and asked you to tell us whether your information was accurate. And we are doing more of that, but the portal again will enable you to update that information really, really easily. And we know how important it is to tailor our services to meet customers' needs. I don't know, as an example, maybe when we come to do a repair in your home, you're not able to get to the door quickly, so you need us to wait for longer for you to let us in. Maybe you have certain times that are better for you. Maybe you have certain vulnerabilities, whether they're temporary or permanent, that you need to let us know about. And you can do that all in the portal, so that we'll be able to really tailor our services to meet your very specific and individual needs. So I think that's really exciting. I think the other thing we've been doing is around training. Craig touched on training our colleagues, and that involves technical training, but also cultural training. So we launched customer first training last year. About 87% of our colleagues have been through that now, and they've seen videos from, I think, both of you in that training as well. That's really helping our customers, our colleagues, understand what's important to our customers. So we've got that customer voice really in that front end, where we're training all of our colleagues to do a better job. So I think a mixture of cultural and system developments are really going to streamline that reporting and tracking of a repair for our customers. So I think it's quite exciting.
Really great. That's really helpful. Our next question is from a customer from Brewhouse in Yorkshire. And I guess, Lizzie, you touched on this a little bit earlier as well, but probably you want to elaborate. So the question is, what steps are being taken to improve communications between a Sanctuary and the residents? And maybe Craig, because you still have the mic, maybe, if you can start and yeah.
That was a subtle effort to wrong foot us both, wasn't it? But, you could be more explicit than that if you like. Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about the kind of bigger picture, because I think it's really important. So Improving communication between Sanctuary and its residents has to be at all levels of Sanctuary as an organisation. So let me start by just talking about the board of Sanctuary, who oversee and employ the likes of myself and the rest of the team. It's a fundamental part of their job that they hear directly from our customers and residents. So there's several things we've put in place to help with that. Our resident scrutiny and advisory panels meet each year directly with the board to talk about anything that they wish to talk about. Our board members are out and about quite a lot. They were out yesterday, for instance, around South London. And they take the opportunity to bump into residents, to speak to residents directly, but also to see for themselves. So right at the very top of the organisation, if you like, we've put formal mechanisms in place so that they hear directly from residents. Same is true of our senior management team. It's a requirement of all of our senior managers that they get out and about. They don't just sit in their own silos looking at finance, looking at technology. They have to go and see for themselves and hear for themselves as well. And I think they're really important things, and they're part of the culture of the organisation that's been changing. And then you add into that the sheer range of activities and initiatives that we have been putting in place around the country to get ourselves closer to our customers. So getting our housing officers out and about and on site more than ever before, more events with our schemes and our engagement days, more mechanisms for our customers to get involved with Sanctuary, be that through communities of interest or through the resident scrutiny and advisory panels, and also the range of mechanisms by which our customers can get involved with us. So it doesn't all have to be on Teams. Some of it can be face-to-face. Some of it can be through surveys. Some of it can be through email exchanges and other types of forum. So we have simply been trying to top to bottom of the organisation, and I say it's simple, but it isn't really. From the top to the bottom of the organisation, we have trying to get ourselves to be more engaged, more open, and open up a broader range of conversations with our customers, and that is meeting with success. We have contact with tens of thousands of our customers purely for the purpose of hearing from them, not to deal with a repairs issue, not to deal with an inquiry about a rent account, simply to listen to what they want to say to us. And most importantly, I'm absolutely seeing the influence that is having on the design of our services, the investments we choose to make in systems, and the way that we need to listen and hear what our customers are saying has never been more important from my perspective.